most of the uniforms come to the shirt. The jersey was all wool, you know, all wool and long sleeve. They're all short sleeve now, because at the time they were rolling it up and some of them were cutting them. They didn't want them. Then they would fall and get all skin. But anyway, they were all wool at one time, and they had numbers in the back, but it wasn't required to have in the front. So in the front they had kind of ribbing-like thing. I don't know how to explain it. It was sewn on there, kind of V. And then they had some on the arms right here. That was mostly for the boys that carried the ball, you see. That would kind of hold the ball a little better. So they had it here, here, and then here.
Do you have a lot of padding like they do now?
Well, I don't think the equipment was as good. Like the shoulder pads, they were just almost a couple of pieces of leather, you see. Now they have a lot of shock absorbent techniques in there. And the helmets, the old helmets were just leather, I think. It's almost like those flyers wore, just a piece of leather with a little padding. And let's see what else. And pants, they were one piece. Then it became two pieces, where the pant and then they had hip pads were separate. You could put them on, then you put your pants on top. And I guess they had the thigh pads that used to slip in there, and I think they still have that. The shoes were high top. They didn't have the low top, high top, and they were leather cleats. They were kind of rectangle, and they were large at top and then came down, not to a point, but came down, and there were layers of leather like this. And they were just nailed on to the sole.
Tell me a little bit more about Dr. Gammage. What was he like?
Well, I didn't say enough about him. He was very, very good from the standpoint of building. Any opportunity he had, he would build some buildings on the campus, you see. And the other thing, which was not noticeable, but very much of a help to students, and that was the jobs. And he permitted students to have part-time jobs. It might only be worth $10 a couple of weeks or whatever it is, you see, to help the school. And then you could work out many things. For instance, I took industrial arts and I made a chest, and I don't think I paid anything. All the, not the labor, but the material, you see. Then I worked it off. And same thing with tuition and fees. They gave us an opportunity to work that off, say during the summer before school started, or even during school. You see, so I think Dr. Gammage was very cognizant of education. The president was very good from this standpoint, that he did two things. He looked after the students, and I would say almost every student had some part of a job. And the school was run by students, like janitor and gardening and that sort of thing. I was a gardener's helper, and I helped the plumbers. I had all kinds of jobs, and we all did this. So you had part-time jobs and full-time jobs. Full-time were a little hard to come by, because the room and board, I think you saw there, was $21.50. That's pretty good, isn't it? Then your registration fees and all, that was very, very nominal, you see, and you could work that out.
It was $21.50 for how often do you pay that?
That's every month, you see. But if you have a full-time job, that would cover that.
So what kind of job did you have?
Well, I'd work with the gardeners, I worked with the carpenters, I worked with the plumbers. You see, you didn't always stay. They needed someone to put some threads on pipes. If you ever done that, that's a slow process. Now they have machines that'll do that, but this was hand. And you may work all day and just maybe a couple of inches. One of the proudest moments is probably when I received the honorary, and then my daughter, hooded me, and I think that doesn't happen very often. I don't think even in modern times. I don't know whether that ever happened. Someone should make a study of that. Any place in the country, I don't think. It could happen. I shouldn't say that it will never, but that wouldn't happen very often, I don't think. You could have a daughter do it, but not when she was a vice president of the university.